Arshad sir, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you give me the host, please?
already we have given host, no?
Says that host has a disabled participants sharing. I'm trying to share my screen. It's given,
Yeah.
no?
Sir, try once again.
Okay, sure. Okay, right. Can you see my screen? Hello.
Yes, sir. Can see that.
Today today onwards we are going to complete some of the parts that we were not able to do last few days due to some technical issues. So I'll fast explain these things. Some of these have been already explained, but I don't know whether you can remember it because our work got disturbed from time to time. So I would like to start from the beginning. Especially I have done the initial part, right? Child development, physical development, how a child is born, how a child is conceived, and what kind of development takes place inside the mother's womb, right? So we are going to discuss beyond that point. Okay, right? Child development, we will see. Right. Right. Let's see what is development. The development is the changes in the various dimensions of one's personality are mainly of two types: qualitative and quantitative. Yes, somebody was trying to speak. Who was it? Hello? Hello? Did somebody try to interrupt? Okay. Right. So what is development? First, we are going to discuss what is development. The changes in the various dimensions of one's personality are mainly of two types. They are called qualitative and quantitative development. The term growth is limited to the changes in the quantitative aspects such as increase in size, length, height and weight, and expansion of vocabulary. It is confined to a certain period of time. So that is growth. Right. The term development implies the overall changes occurring in both the qualitative as well as quantitative aspects. It occurs right through a man's lifespan. Development, as a comprehensive term related to all types of changes, can be employed to describe all dimensions of one's behavior, one's personality, whether physical, mental, social, moral, or any other. The child's development represents the interaction of heredity and the environment. Right. Okay. Now, what is development really? Now, what is the difference between development and growth? Yes, can anybody define me? Hello. Okay, what is the difference between development and growth? What is really growth?
Growth is just the physical development.
Actually, growth is now we are talking about development refers to all kinds of development. Yes, but the growth is, I mean, physical development in physical development also is referred to as development, not growth, basically, right? Now, growth is really dimensional changes in changes in two dimensions, like what? Size, length, and size, length, height and weight. Right. So the changes in these things are known as, and also expansion of vocabulary. These are known as, this comes under growth, right? That it is only a quantitative aspect, but the qualitative aspect, when we refer to the growth of all these things, qualitatively we refer to it as development. So the term development implies the overall changes occurring in both the qualitative as well as quantitative aspects. It occurs right through a man's lifespan. Is it clear to you? Development as a comprehensive term. You know what is meant by comprehensive here? Here comprehensive means complete term related to all types of changes. It can be employed to describe all dimensions of one's personality, whether physical, mental, social, moral, or any other. The child's development represents the interaction of two factors. What are they? Heredity and environment. Right. What two factors really represent the child's development? What are they? Hello, please answer. Two factors really represent the child's
Heredity and
development.
environment.
Heredity and environment. We'll see what they are. Now, here in this slide, you can see the difference between growth and development. Growth refers to a measurable changes in size, such as height and weight. Development refers to an increase in physical, emotional, social, or intellectual skills. Boys may lag behind girls in growth. Right? When it comes to growth, who are faster, boys or girls? Hello?
Girls.
Girls.
The girls, yes. The
Girls.
satisfactory growth of a child is measured in percentiles on a chart. A percentile is a statistical value on a scale of 100 that indicates whether a distribution is above or below it. If a child's weight falls on the 50th percentile of his age, that means 50% of all other children his age weigh more, and 50% of all the other children his age weigh less. If a child's height falls on the 90% percentile of his age, it means that 10% of all children his age will be taller than he is, and 90% of all children of his age will be shorter than he is. Then, right? Is it clear to you? This is about how these things are measured. Factors influencing how children grow: genetic potential, medical problems, and nutritional status. Right. An additional factor influencing development is practice. Right. We'll come to next one. Child development can occur in 4 aspects: physical development, cognitive development, social and moral development, and emotional development. We will discuss these stages little by little. Right. Factors affecting development. There are 3 main factors. What are they? Heredity, environment, and balanced diet. Development is affected by, basically I told you, 2 factors called heredity and nature. Right. So this nature can be divided into environment and balanced diet. Right. What are the 3 factors affecting the child development? Yes. Heredity, environment, and balanced diet. Right. I'll share this presentation with you, so you need not to take notes. Right. Heredity. What is heredity? Every human being is born as a result of conception, which takes place due to certain biological factors and processes. We have discussed this, how it happens. The child carries with himself several psychological and physical. It should be physiological. Second one should be physiological. Yeah, it is physiological. First one physiological and second one psychological. Okay. The child carries with himself several physiological and psychological peculiarities that are present in the parents. In fact, it is the heredity that determines the structure, color of eyes, complexion, structure of the hair, facial features, nasal index, etc. of the child. Right. The genes of parents define the physical features of the children and decides the potential of a child. Different types of genes help in the formation of the body. Heredity is passing on of traits from parents to their offspring. Right. Heredity is responsible for all inborn traits and instincts, emotions, IQ, reflex actions, and physical traits. Okay. Right. So I would like to discuss with you, right, heredity. Heredity is what? Heredity is what?
Kind of genetic
Yeah, actually,
connection.
genetic structure which is passed from parents to children is heredity, right? It's a genetical factor. Okay, right. We know how it happens, right? We have to discuss 23 chromosomes each are joined, and right 22 of them decides some I mean facial I mean most of the I mean color of skin, complexion, facial features and all that, height and all that, right? And 23rd chromosome decides the male, I mean, whether the sex of the child, whether it is a male or a female, we have discussed. Usually mother contributes 23 and the father contributes 23 each, right? So that single one, right? Now usually right concerning the sex, mothers have only X genes, right? Whereas father has both X and Y, right? So if father has released X gene, then then the child becomes a girl, and if the father has released Y gene, when it joins with mother's X and Y together decides male. I think we have discussed this, right? So okay, what features are decided by the parents, genes of parents? Hello? What is decided by the genes of parents? They define the physical features of children and the potential of children, right? So in heredity, what happens? Traits of parents are passed down to their offspring through heredity. So heredity is responsible for what? All the inborn traits, the instincts, emotions, IQ, reflex actions, and physical traits. Right. So can one of you tell me what is heredity? What is heredity? Hello? Heredity is passing traits from parents to their offspring. What is heredity? Yes, tell me.
Genetic
Passing
information passed through parents to children.
passing genetic information from a parent to children is heredity. Right. So what information is passed? Right. What factors are decided by the heredity of a child? What qualities? Inborn traits, the instincts, the emotions, and IQ, and also reflex actions, and other physical traits like height and the structure, body structure, bone structure. All these things are decided by heredity. Is it clear to you? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Environment. We'll see what is environment. While the heredity determines the potential of a child, environment influences the extent to which that potential is achieved. Right. So heredity decides our potential, but what supports it is the environment. Environment decides to which extent that that potential can be achieved. Psychologically, an individual's environment is related to all those stimuli which he faces from the moment of fertilization till birth. Right. Psychologically, an individual's environment is related to all those stimuli which he faces from the moment of fertilization till birth. Environment is generally divided into two categories: natural and social. Environment can be divided two categories. What are they? Natural and social. Environment is responsible for the growth and development of the physical, mental, and the social traits. What is responsible for the growth of physical, mental, and the social traits? Hello? Environment. Right. You know what is meant by traits? What is traits? Can you tell me what is meant by traits? Traits means qualities. Traits means qualities or features. The two factors, heredity and environment, are not opposed to each other, but complementary like seed and soil. Some people think these are opposed to each other. No, it's not like that. They are very complementary things like seed and soil. I mean, seed cannot be grown without soil. Likewise, there's heredital factors which are present in us are achieved only through the environment. The heredity is the raw material out of which the object is to be prepared, and environment is the technique and the other material for the manufacture. So this is a nice comparison. Right. Child development takes place in stages: prenatal stage, infancy, early childhood, later childhood, and adolescence. Prenatal development we have discussed really. Prenatal development of the period from the conception to birth. Life begins with the conception, which occurs when a sperm from father meets an egg cell from mother. This union is known as the mutation. We have discussed this. When a sperm and egg cell mutates and forms a single cell, it is called zygote. The union of a male sperm cell and female egg cell forms a new organism. Now we have discussed these stages. Prenatal stage has some stages. Period from conception to birth. Right. 3 periods called germinal period, embryonic period, and fetal period. So prenatal stage is the period. What importance of prenatal stage is? It is the period from conception to birth. It is the period of highest development. It can be grouped into 3 stages as germinal period, embryonic period, and a fetal period. We have discussed all these things anyway, right? Okay. I'm just revising this. Okay. So what is the importance of prenatal period in terms of development? It is the period of highest development. What is it? Hello?
Highest development can take place.
Highest development. Right. The other highest next highest development is the period of adolescence. During that period also, people grow vigorously. Right. So yeah, I think we have discussed these things. Did we discuss germinal period and all the other periods? Prenatal period we discussed, didn't we?
Yes, sir, we have.
Okay. Shall I skip these things? So I'll send you the presentation so you can see this. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So when it comes to when we talk about physical development, we talk about skills, motor skills. What is meant by motor skills? The ability for movements is known as motor skills. Motor skills can be divided into 2 categories as gross motor skills and fine motor skills. What are gross motor skills? Motor skills, often referred to as locomotion, are abilities that depend on the use and control of muscles. Mastering these skills, although seemingly just a physical development skill, relies heavily on intellectual, social, and emotional development. Right. First motor skill to be developed are the gross motor skills. These involve the use of larger muscles in the body, such as the trunk, neck, arms, and legs. Skills might include running, jumping, hopping, skipping, throwing, and catching. What is meant by motor skills? Hello? What is meant by motor skills? Just tell me, please. What are motor skills? Can you hear me? Hello? What are motor skills?
Related to locomotion, abilities related to locomotion,
Locomotion is movements, right? Right.
movements
So
and
these abilities,
locomotion.
these abilities, locomotion means movements, right? These abilities depend on the use and control of what? Large muscles, right? What are these muscles? Right. Muscles in which areas? Trunk, neck, arms,
Trunk,
and
neck, arms, and legs.
what are the skills related to this gross motor skills? Running, jumping,
Hopping, skipping,
throwing,
throwing,
and
and
catching.
catching.
Right. Gross motor skills are movements involving large muscles of the body. These skills allow children to control those body movements that require the use of 6 large muscles in the legs, arms, and the torso of the body. As soon as children are born, their gross motor skills begin to develop. Gross motor skills are essential for physical play. For example, playing tag, which involves running after friends, catching up with them, reaching out and catching someone. Right. So everyday tasks like running, walking, upstairs, running, jumping, and throwing a ball require the use of gross motor skills. Okay. Can you name some of the activities which require gross motor skills? Hello?
Running, walking, upstairs, and jumping,
Hmm.
catching, throwing balls, playing, catching.
Everyday tasks.
Yeah.
Right. Now we have discussed. Right. Okay. We'll go to next slide. Fine motor skills are what? In contrast, fine motor skills are actions that require the use of smaller muscles in the hands, fingers, and toes. Right. So using smaller muscles in the hands, fingers, and toes is known as fine motor skills. These allow infants to pick things up using their finger and thumb, wriggle their toes in the sand, and hold in the crayons or small toys, and hold in a pen. For drawing and all that, what requires is fine motor skills. Right. Dressing and undressing. When you are dressing also, you want to put your buttons on and remove buttons. What you use are fine motor skills. When you are drawing, when you are scribbling and stacking toys, right? What you are using are fine motor skills. Describing any dressing and undressing, drawing, scribbling, and stacking toys are other example of fine motor skills. Okay. So what are fine motor skills? Yes.
The skills that use the smaller muscles in hands, fingers, and toes.
Especially in the especially in the fingers of the hands and toes. Right. So, and when you are playing carom, what do you use?
Finger.
When you are playing cricket, what are you using? What skills? Basically, gross motor skills. But when it comes to playing cricket, you can say you are using fine motor skills as well, because if you are bowling.
Mommy, good evening.
Hello. Now, suppose you are now when you are playing cricket, right? You have to use your fingers and all that. If you are bowling and all that, then you have to use. You are using soft gross motor skills as you are turning your hand and you are running along to bowl. But while doing that, right, you use the small muscles in your fingers to turn the ball. So you are using both skills in that. Right. In some place, you have to use both skills, both fine motor and gross motor skills. But in domestic games like carom and what we call carom and also dam, right? Then you are using only fine motor skills. Is it clear to you all? The difference of use of these skills?
Yes, sir.
Right. Balance and coordination. We'll see what helps us to do this, whether it is fine or motor. We'll see. Balance is the ability to maintain a position. Coordination is the capacity to move through a set of movements from simple to complex, as well as repetition. Both balance and coordination are necessary for performance of gross motor skills. Both balance and coordination are necessary for the performance of gross motor skills. For the performance of gross motor skills, what are necessary? Balance and the coordination. Balance is what? Balance is the ability to maintain a position. Coordination is what? Coordination is the capacity to move through a set of movements. Balance and coordination depend on the interaction of multiple body organs and systems, including the eyes, ears, brain, and nervous system, cardiovascular system, and the muscles. Right. So on what factors do balance and coordination depend? It depends on the interaction of multiple body organs, means many body organs and systems. What are they? Eyes, ears, brain, nervous system, cardiovascular system, and muscles. Okay. Now suppose right. You are doing you engage in a physical activity, especially a game. Let's say it is cricket, right? So what is required to play that game? You need the speed, you need the strength, and also you need neuromuscular coordination. What are things you need to play? These are called the physical education qualities. Right. You need speed, you need strength, you need neuromuscular coordination, and you need agility and flexibility. For sports, what there are 5 qualities that you need. What are they? Hello. For sports, you need 5 qualities, 5 physical qualities. They are strength, speed, agility, flexibility, and neuromuscular coordination. What are they, please? Hello.
Speed,
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 strength,
strength, agility, flexibility, and
okay.
neuromuscular coordination.
Again, I will read them. Speed, strength. You know, you don't call strength. It is strength. You start with s sound, like the snake hissing. Strength. School. You don't say is school. Is not there. It's wrong English. School. So likewise, what are they? Speed, strength, agility, flexibility, and neuromuscular coordination. Can one repeat it, please? What are those 5? Again.
Speed, strength, flexibility, agility.
Yes, and neuromuscular coordination. Speed is, you know, right now. Speed, you need the speed to play a game, you know, right? Okay. Now you need the strength also, right? Now suppose you are playing cricket. Why you need speed? You need the speed to run between wickets, or to come and bowl, or even to go behind the ball, chase the ball, and all that. You need speed. Why do you need strength? You need strength to hit the ball hard or to bowl fast. You need the strength. Okay. Then how do you need agility? Why do you need agility? What is agility? The ability to change positions and move around quickly is agility. What is agility? What is agility? The ability to move around and change positions very quickly is agility. What is? Tell me please, what is agility? Hello?
Ability to move around.
Move around and change positions. Right, that is so. Okay. Well, then there's another thing called flexibility. What is meant by flexibility? Flexibility means what? In Sinhalese you call it namyashilitave. Namyashili, right? What? Having a very good control of your body movements is flexibility. What is flexibility? Having a very good control of your body movements is flexibility. What is flexibility? Hello. Yes. Having a very good control of your body movement is flexibility, right? Okay, we know we need all these things for playing games. Then how does neuromuscular coordination come into play? You know what is called neuromuscular coordination? You know, neuros are the things that carry signals from our 5 senses to brain.
Yeah.
5 senses to brain. Okay, right. Now suppose you are playing cricket. When you are playing cricket, what do you see? Right now you are playing. Suppose you are batting. Then you are waiting for the ball to come. Right. With what do you notice the ball coming? You notice the ball coming with your eyes. When the eyes see the ball coming, what does the eyes do? They send a message to the brain. Our ball is coming and it is pitched at this point. So the message is sent through how? through the neuromuscular neuro system. So what is called neuromuscular coordination is, now you see the ball, then the message is sent to your brain. Okay, the ball pitch in this place. Then brain gives you, then brain analyze it and gives you an instruction. Right? You play the shot like this. Right? Then that information that message should be sent to your hands, to body, for your muscles to be operated. Then that message is sent to your muscles from the brain through your neuro system. Right? So if you have to play well, right, you have a very good neuromuscular coordination. Otherwise, right, you will play only after the ball has passed you or before the ball comes to you. Right? If you have to play it in the proper way, according to with the proper timing, you have to have a very good neuromuscular coordination. Is it clear to you? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Right. So when we what we do as practicing is what we do by practicing is sharpening this neuromuscular coordination. Right. So when you have practice a lot, what happens? You can automatically play those shots and all that, because that neuromuscular coordination is created. Right. So now I gave you some additional information about balance and coordination. Let's see. Let's move to the next. Walking and running. Continuous steps alternating feet is what is walking? Continuous steps alternating feet. Arms are in opposition to legs. If the right foot is forward, swing the left arm forward. Right. This is what happens in walking and running. Right. Now, what is the difference between walking and running? So all these movements happen in walking and running in the same way they are described. Now, what is the difference between walking and running? Have you seen walking races and you have seen running races? Have you seen walking races? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So what is the difference between walking and running? When you are walking, right, you don't lift your, you don't fully lift your feet. Right?
So I think running is a fast act, better than walking.
It's a fast act, but how it is decided whether it is walking or running? You don't totally lift. When you are running, you totally lift your what?
Feet.
You totally lift your feet. Right? But when you are walking, what happens is
They will touch the ground.
you touch your heels, always touch the one of your heels is always touching the what? When you are running, both your feet is both or one of your not both, one of your feet can be off the ground. But when you are walking, one of your feet, especially the heel of one of your feet is on the ground at all times. Is it clear?
Yes.
තේරෙනවද කියන එක මොකද්ද මේ කියන්නේ කියලා? දැන් ඇවිදින කොටයි දුවන කොටයි වෙනස මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? ඇවිදින කොට පත්ල මොකද වෙන්නේ? හැම වෙලේම කකුල එක කොටසක්, විශේෂයෙන්ම අපි කියනවා මේ විලුඹ එක විලුඹක් හරි ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් එකේ ස්පර්ශ වෙලා තියෙන හැම වෙලාවෙම. කොයි වෙලා කකුල් දෙකම හැම වෙලේම ගුවනේ තියෙන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි ඇවිදිනකොට පාද දෙකම ගුවනේ තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. Is it clear to you? Right? Right. The pattern of right leg forward, left arm forward was first seen in crawling. This movements now, right? This pattern, right now, when we are walking, what happens? Walking or running, right leg forward. When you put the right leg forward, what happens? Your left arm goes, the pattern of right leg forward, left arm forward. So when you are walking or running, what you will do is, now this happens even in crawling. Right leg is forward and the left arm forward. When the right leg is forward, what happens? when your right leg is forward, right, your left arm forward. Right. So likewise, right, alternatively, hands and legs move forward and backwards. This was first seen in crawling. As the right hand moved forward, the left leg moved forward. As speed, balance, and coordination improve, the child will run. Right. When these things happen, they run. Walking involves a smooth transfer of weight from the heel to the toe. In walking, what happens? Weight transfer occurs from heel to the toe. When a child walks to toe first, they appear to have a light bouncing motion. Okay, right. Now, I'll share another one. Wait a while. Okay, right. What is maturity? Maturity is the ability to respond to a given situation appropriately. What does that mean? From an emotional standpoint, it deals with more with how appropriately you respond to a given situation. Right. So what is maturity? Hello.
Maturity is the ability to respond to a given situation appropriately.
Right. Okay, right. For maturity, also two factors affect their heredity and environment, as we have discussed. Right. So what are the factors that are affecting maturity? Heredity and environment. Right. Under heredity, what factors are affecting us? Intelligence means what?
Heredity and environment.
Our intelligence is what? Our mental ability. Then the physical condition. Number 3, aptitude and special talent. What is called aptitude? Aptitude is what?
Intelligent.
Intelligence. Aptitude is right. Intelligence is there already. Then aptitude.
Ability to do a
Aptitude is basically the ability to
future
solve problems like that. Right. Now, right, when you are doing, suppose you want to enter a certain position in the government, then you have to take an aptitude test, which involves some what we call higher order activities like problem solving and all that aptitude, right? So special intellectual talent. Then sex, age, and temperament. Temperament is what? Temperament is how you can control your emotions and all that. Emotional maturity and stability. If you don't get angry, right, and if you don't cry and all that, if you can tolerate things, so you have a good temperament likewise. Introversion and extroversion, what is that? Some people are introverted people and some are extroverted people, right? What is the difference between introversion and extroversion? Introverted people are not social. They really keep to themselves, whereas extrovert people are very social. And dominance and submissiveness. Dominance means what? Always try to dominate others. Submissive means what? Always ready to agree with others, and they like to be controlled by others. And effort making capacity also is one of the hereditary factors. And criminal tendency. If a person is there is a tendency for a person to become a criminal, that tendency also comes from the heredity. So most of these people, right, but it has a big environment has a big role in this, but there's gene involvement also is there to a certain extent. That means, right, a thug's child can be a thug if the necessary environment is there, right? Okay, what are the environmental factors? Family background, community background, and school. In the school, 3 components contribute to this. What are they? Teachers, facilities, and location. So children's stages of maturity also like physical development occurs into 4 stages: as an infant, as a child, and as an adolescent, means young adult, and as an adult. Effects of heredity and environment on our maturity. Heredity. The passing of genetic traits from parent to offspring is heredity. Children look similar to their parents because of the traits they inherit from them. Heredity. Heredity refers to the genetic heritage passed down by our biological parents. It is why we look like them. Both heredity and environment have their share in the molding the life and the personality of the individual, but the extent of their influence opinions differs. Heredity is responsible for all the inborn traits, the instincts, emotions, IQ, reflex actions, and physical traits. We discussed these things even earlier. Okay, can you give me an idea about what are inborn traits? What are inborn traits? Inborn traits means the qualities we are born with. What is called instincts? What is instincts? Can you hear me? Hello. What is instinct? Hello. Hello. Can you all hear me or not?
Yes,
Hello.
sir. Can hear. Can hear.
So what is instinct? Can you tell me please what is meant by instinct? Instinct is what? Do you know what it is?
Is it related to intelligence or knowledge? Related.
Instinct, not quite, right? Instinct is something, right? It is something which is present in us, right? We act, right? When we are faced with certain situations, we react with our react with our instincts. Right? What is that? Yes. You can tell me. Yes.
The things are coming from within, like hungry.
Hunger. Like what things coming from what?
Coming from within.
Coming from?
අතුලාන්තයෙන් එන දේවල්.
Right, from the innermost parts. Is it what you mean?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's more like this, huh? Right.
A way of behaving, thinking that is not learned.
What?
A way of behaving, thinking, or feeling that is not learned.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. It is not learned. It is present in us. Yes, that is right. So let's see. It is a natural behavior, right? It is not learned, and it is there in us. What is instinct? It's a natural behavior. What's it? Yes. What is instinct, please?
It's a natural behavior.
Hello? Natural behavior, and which is not learned. Right? Very correctly, somebody said it is not learned. Yeah, it's not learned behavior. It is behavior which is present in us. Right? When certain stimulus are there, right? Those they come as responses. Right?
So
So
can
what
we
are
tell it
reflex
as,
actions? What are hello?
so can we tell it as
Yes, you
natural
may say.
responses for the situations coming through?
Yeah, natural responses. So what is a reflex act? What are reflexes?
No, if we see the
Reflex,
food that we
reflex
are hungry, kind of thing.
It is an automatic response. Reflex is an automatic response to a simple stimulus, which does not require mental processing. What is reflex? An automatic response to a simple stimulus, which does not require mental processing. So, instinct is natural behavior. So, reflex is a response, natural response to a certain stimulus without involving our cognition or mental process. Is it clear? Are they clear to you? The instinct and the reflex? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So sometimes, right, when we are confronted with certain behaviors, we behave instinctively. Means we don't think and behave. We don't think and behave, but we behave the way we are programmed. Usually, the way the animals behave is instinctive. They don't think and behave. They are programmed to behave that way. Clear to you right now? Example for reflexes. Okay. So what happens to your eyes? What happens to your eyes when there's bright light?
We tend to close our eyes, and when we touch a hot object, we just take away our hands. Those are reflexes.
Okay, yeah. Now, when there's a very bright light, your eyes start blinking. Why does it happen? I mean, do you think that now the light is bright, my eyes will get hurt, so I should blink? Do you think like that? No, it happens automatically.
No.
It happens automatically. So it is an automatic response. That is a reflex action. Clear? Right.
Yes, sir.
When you are frightened at night, what happens? When you are frightened at night, what happens? What is your instinctive behavior? What?
Scared.
You get scared. After
Right.
getting scared, what will you do?
Screaming, shouting and screaming.
You will start shouting at top of your voice and running from that place. Suppose you see a ghost or something, what will you do? You will start shouting and running at breakneck speed. That is your instinctive response. We are programmed to do like that. Why? For what purpose? For our own protection. Is it clear? Is it clear? Hello? Do you understand the difference
Yes, sir.
between
Yes, sir.
instinct and reflex?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Huh? Is it clear the difference between instinct and the reflex?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay. So environment, right? How does the environment affect our maturity? Both prenatal environment and the physical environment affect our maturity. The chemical balance of the mother's body and the presence of conditions of potentially toxic substances that can alter development process affect our maturity when we are inside our mother's womb during the prenatal environment, prenatal period. Examples are the mother's use of drugs or alcohol, viral or bacterial diseases, the direct traumatic injury to the fetus and all that. Then what is the physical environment? The air the child breathes, the nutritional value of food and the child eats, exposure to conditions that can lead to disease, accident or injury, including child abuse and neglect. So these things are the factors. Hello? 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 How's it? Right. Okay. Social and cultural environment. Right. What is the influence of social and cultural environment? Right. It consists of norms, values, belief systems, and morals. How does the society and culture affect our maturity? What affects us? Norms. What are norms? Norms are the standards set by the society as acceptable and not. Right. Values are what? Values are what? What are values?
Behaviors. Good behaviors.
In English we call values means dharma. What we consider as good behaviors are values.
Good behaviors.
Belief systems and morals. What are belief systems and morals?
Belief
Sets of
systems
beliefs that we have
related
and other
to
morals. Yeah.
religion and I mean
Yeah. Religion is a set
religious.
of belief.
Yeah, religious.
Morals are what? Morals are examples or exemplary behaviors accepted by the society are morals. Right? Good behavior. Is it clear?
Yes.
So, right. Standard of behavior that regulate life in the cultural group in which the child is raised are the things we have discussed here. Right. Right. So that is what we call social and cultural environment. So what is learning environment? The degree and type of stimulation available in the child's immediate environment. Sensory input promotes and shapes cognitive development. Stimulation in adequate quantity and intensity promotes establishment of and shapes neutral pathways in the brain. Right. What is this learning environment? The degree and the type of stimulation available in the child's immediate environment. What is this? Stimulation is what? Stimulation. In a right. How much the child is motivated? How much the child is motivated in the through the immediate environment to learn something. Sensory input promotes and shapes cognitive development. Right. Sensory input means what? The information that is given to the that is absorbed by the child with his
Senses.
yeah. What is stimulation? We have discussed what is stimulation is motivation, right? So stimulation in adequate quantity and intensity. Intensity means what? What is intensity? Quantity means the amount, like, so intensity means at the right level, right? Promotes establishment of and shapes neutral pathways in the brain. So what do they do? They create neutral pathways in the brain. So with that, the child start achieving maturity. The emotional environment, the nature of the child's interpersonal relationship. Right. What comes under the emotional environment are the nature of the child's interpersonal relationships, the degree of nurturance available to the child. The emotional environment shapes personality and affects the development of self-esteem, identity, trust, and the ability to enter into intimate relationships and personal resilience. What are these? Right. What is called degree of nurturance? What is called nurture? Nurturance means what? Yes. What is nurturance?
Taking care, take care of the child.
Yeah, actually nurturance is the provision of physical and emotional care. What is nurturing? The provision of physical and emotional care, right? Who does it usually for a
Mother.
child? Parents, basically mother. Yeah, very good. Right. The nature of the child's interpersonal relationship is right. So the emotional environment that affects our maturity are these. The nature of the child's interpersonal relationships. What kind of interpersonal relationships are maintained by the child, and the degree of nurturance available to the child. How much of care and physical and emotional care is given to the child by the parents or the adults around. Emotional environment shapes personality and affects the environment of self-esteem. This environment, this emotional environment, what does it do? It shapes the personality. Personality of the child is shaped by the emotional environment, and it affects the development of self-esteem, identity, trust, and the ability to enter into intimate relationships and personal resilience. Right. So what is now emotional now when there is a proper emotional environment, that means if the child is having a good interpersonal relationships, and if the child has a good caring and good caring from his parents, the child develops his personality, right? Especially self-esteem. What is called self-esteem? Self-esteem is what?
Self-respect.
So what?
Self-realization. Trust of ourselves.
Yeah, very good. We could say confidence is one's own worth. Self-respect, in a way, yes. Confidence in one's own worth, right? Now, you have a self-esteem means what? Now, you know what your value is and you have some estimation about your worth. Self-esteem, right? Self-dignity, like, right? And then also you develop your identity. You are identity as a unique person, and the trust, you believe in yourself. Ability to enter into intimate relationships, right? Now, if you're a person who has all these things, right, then what? You enter into intimate relationships with other people. You become very social, right? And also there's a personal resilience. Means what? Personal resilience is what? You are able to bounce back from your defeats, right? Suppose you lose something, then you are able to bounce back from that disadvantaged position and come to a advantageous position. Is it clear? Resilience, ability to resurrect yourselves, is a resilience. Is it clear to you all? Hello.
So can you explain that again?
Resilience.
Resilience. Yes.
Right now, suppose you are facing a very difficult situation. Now, suppose you become bankrupt, right? But without lamenting over that fact, right? You work hard and you become rich again. That is the resilience, right? Now, suppose you are unable, you failed in one attempt to do something, but you are not demoralized by that, but you believe in yourself and achieve it with greater practice and with great ability, with greater dedication. That is the
Not giving up.
without
Not
giving, yeah,
not giving up.
yeah, not giving and sticking to something to in order to achieve it is resilience.
Okay.
So right now, when it comes to development and maturity, right, there is a debate whether what is important, whether it is nature or the nurture. Nature is the heredity, as we said. Nurture is the environment. What is nature? We genetically inherit physical traits from our parents, but we also inherit personal traits, intelligence, and preferences in the form of DNA. Right? Now it is more like a twisted ladder, right? You all have known it. What the shape of DNA, right? Nurture, the household and city we grew up in, and how we were raised by our parents, right? And the environment is the nurture where we are brought up, and the factors that affected us, teachers and friends. These are the environmental factors that determine who we are. Okay, right. I'm going to another slideshow. I will share all this with you, right? Don't worry, right? I'll send it to Arshad and he'll share with you. Okay. Did you understand what I discussed? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Now we come to a different topic. Right. Intellectual development of children. Right. What is the scope of this? Development of the whole child, right? Development of the whole child is social development, language development, aesthetic appreciation, cognitive or intellectual development, creative expression and emotional development, and physical and motor development. Out of these, we are going to discuss intellectual development and how it happens. What is intellectual or mental development? The development of the mental abilities and the capacities which help an individual to adjust his behavior to the ever-changing environmental conditions or to enable him to accomplish a task that needs complex cognitive abilities is known as intellectual development. Right. What is intellectual development? Can you define me? Development of the mental abilities and the capacities which help an individual to adjust his behavior to the ever-changing environmental conditions is the intellectual development. Can you read it after me? What is it? What is intellectual development?
The development of the mental abilities and capacities which help an individual to adjust his behavior to the ever-changing environmental conditions or to enable him to accomplish a task that needs complex cognitive abilities.
So what is that? Right. They are the ability. Right. It is a task which requires cognitive abilities. We'll see.
Cognitive.
Right. Now, some of the definitions. Jerome Bruner defines cognitive ability as intellectual development is the capacity to deal with several choices at the same time. So
It's like decision making.
yeah,
Is it?
right.
Yeah.
When you have more options. Suppose right now you all are young. Right now, suppose you get 4 opportunities. Like you are selected to the diplomatic service, and you are selected to the you now since you all have done now. Suppose you have finished after completing your degree. You right. You may sit for competitive examinations of the government, right? Right. One is the foreign service, the other is SLAs and SLEs likewise. You pass all these things. Now that you have three options, right? Okay, right. Then you have to decide as to which to be selected. So selecting the best out of the available options is your intellectual ability. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Deal with the several choices at the same time. You select the best thing, right? Okay. So what would you select if you are given a choice like that? What is the best service to be selected? SLES, SLAs, or diplomatic service? Which one? Which is better? Hello?
SLES.
No. Diplomatic is the best.
Diplomatic.
The best
Diplomatic.
the facilities you get in that you don't get anywhere else. And you know, for that there are 5 exams, right? You have to sit 5 papers. You have to sit 5 papers and interview. Okay, intellectual development, the learning and use of language, the ability to reason, problem solve, and organize ideas is what is it? Another definition is there. What is it? Intellectual development is the learning and use of language, the ability to reason, problem solve, and organize ideas. It is related to the physical growth of the brain. What is intellectual development? The learning and the use of language, the ability to reason. Ability to reason means what? Your argumentative ability. justifying something, what you do, you justify is ability to reason. Problem solve. There's a problem, you solve the problem. That is your ability to problem solve it. And organizing ideas, right? How to organize ideas. All this is related to the physical, right, to the intellectual development, and this is related to the physical growth of the brain. This happened as a result of brain development. Right? Can you read this intellectual development? Can you read the first one?
Intellectual development is all about learning.
It's all about learning, right? It is about how individuals organize their minds, ideas, and thoughts to make sense of the world they live in. It is all about learning, and it is about how individuals organize their minds, ideas, and thoughts to make sense of the world they live in. Here are some of the many ways the individuals learn. What are the ways of learning for individuals? Given here: trial and error, copying, exploring, repeating, questioning, doing, experimenting, talking, experiencing, looking, role play, listening, and playing. The two main areas of intellectual development are what? Language development and cognitive development. What is language development? It is helping it is our ability to organize thoughts and make sense of the world around us. What is cognitive development? It's about how we use our mind and organize thinking to understand the world around us. What are the two main areas of intellectual development? Hello?
Language development and cognitive development.
Cognitive development.
So what is language development? How does what does language development help us? It helps us to organize thoughts and make sense of the world around us.
World around us.
It helps us to
Understand the world around us. Cognitive development.
use our mind and organize thinking to understand the world around us.
Yes.
Now these are the milestones of intellectual development. Learning to read, right? Being read to, looking at books, recognizing picture, right? Learning to read includes what? Being read to. First thing, you are now when you are very small, stories are read to you. Then you look at books. After that, you recognize pictures. Then link in alphabetic symbols, link to the picture symbols. You recognize combinations of alphabet symbols and link these to picture symbols, right? So when you are 4 years plus, you start reading on your own, right? So right, some of the milestones are these, right? So what is that? Language, crying, cooing, gurgling, babbling, first sounds. These are the steps of learning language. What are they? First, you cry. With your cry only, you express that you are able to speak, right? That is why when the children are born, if children don't cry, right, it is a problem for the doctors, because the child could be what? After birth, if the child is not crying, what is the problem?
He is not have a sense. That's why he is not crying.
Maybe he is not able to speak. He doesn't have vocal cords or something, right? So that is why he is not crying. Right. Cooing means what? Cooing is some sounds made by the child, some lovable sounds. Gurgling is what? Gurgling. Gurgle. Gurgling means what? Clearing the thought. Babbling. Babbling is what? uttering some sounds, babbling. Incoherent sounds, uttering is babbling. After doing all these things only, he start using the first word, amma, tata, likewise. Then problem solving, ability to stack things together and solve problems. Then he learns many things by trial and error. He does things, and most of the times what he does might go wrong, but by chance he come across the right move. That is what we call learning by trial and error. Then after that they identify the problems and work out solutions, giving some exercises to brain, predict what might happen, right? So all these things are developmental milestones of a child's language, right? Language development helps us to organize thoughts and make sense of the world around us. Okay, these are the uses of language development. What are they? Please tell me. Read. Read. Can you read, please?
Language development helps us to organize thoughts and make sense of the world around us. It helps an individual to ask questions and develop simple ideas into more complex ideas.
Yes.
Language development depends upon the child's own pattern of development, their age, the opportunity to experiment and use language. All individuals have a need to communicate, and language is the tool that allows this.
So what? So language is the tool for our communication and our thinking, right? Can you think without a language? Can you think now when you are faced with a problem, how do you organize your thoughts? Through which? How do you think?
In our mother tongue.
You right? Okay, mother tongue or whatever, right? What is it? What is the tool for your thought?
Language.
Language, yeah. If you don't have a language, if you don't know a language, it is very difficult for you to think. Organize your thoughts. Don't you think so? Suppose you don't know any language, how will you think about a problem? It's very difficult to think about a problem, right? Unless you know a language. So you need to know language for that purpose, right? Now, if you all are English teachers, right? In which language should you train yourselves to think? Hello. In which language should you train yourselves to think? You have to train yourself to think in English. Right. Now I know there are people who think in Sinhalese and speak in English. What will happen? There would be some translation errors, and it will take a lot of time. So you should be able to think in English. For you to be able to think in English, what should you do? Hello. Hello.
We have to improve our language.
How? I mean, improve your language. Yes, you have improved your language now. That is why you are learning in English, right? Okay. More than that, if you are to think in English, right? You always, right? You may make use of you have to stop thinking in mother tongue, right? Whenever you want to solve a problem or whatever, right? Think in English. How can I do? What am I going to do like that? What am I going to do for this? How am I going to solve this problem? Likewise, you have to think in English. Then the ideas will come to you in English. Right? Then it would be easy. Right? So, if your language teachers don't train your students to think in mother tongue. Thinking in mother tongue can be done when he deals in mother tongue, right? But if you are working in English, you should think in English. Got it? Yes or no? Hello.
Yes.
Did you get the idea? Right. Okay. Do you think in English or do you think in Sinhalese or Tamil? How do you think? Hello. How do you think? In Sinhalese or Tamil? Please tell me. Oh, are you? Tell me the people who are thinking in English. Hello? Are there people who think in English? Do you always think in Sinhala or Tamil? Hello? I'm asking you, please. Can you respond to me? Do you all think in your own language?
Mostly, I'm thinking my own language,
Thinking in your
but
own language.
sometimes I use English.
Sometimes you use English, but are you an English teacher or what?
I'm a mathematics teacher.
You are a mathematics teacher. Single medium or English medium?
Single medium.
Then if you are a single medium mathematics teacher, no problem. But if you are an English medium mathematics teacher, you have to think in English. If you are a person who deals in English, you have to think in English. Is it clear? Right. So if you are a Sinhalese mathematics teacher, no problem. You can think in Sinhalese. But when you work in English, you have to think in English. Is it clear? So what is
Yes, sir.
it's cognitive development. It's about how we use our minds and organized thinking to understand the world around us. Cognitive development depends upon the child's own pattern of development. The opportunity for playing with toys and games and experiences of activities and events. Right. Now, I think some of you have kids. Right. Now, I know when they are small, you happen to give them toys. If those children, if they break those toys, what does it show? There are children who always break. Right, whenever they are given a toy, they would break and experiment with them. Who are they? They are very intelligent people. Is it clear? Why? They have a lot of curiosity. That's why they want to break and see what is inside. So, cognitive development can be negatively affected by these factors. What are they? Illness, absence from school, impaired eyesight, impaired hearing. What is meant by impaired eyesight? Lack of what? Lack of sight. Impaired hearing means lack of hearing. Lack of verbal communication. Lack of stimulation. Insecurity. Poor concentration, lack of confidence, lack of meeting other people. Okay. Right now, see here. Now, how do you pick the language? Now, how do we pick the language? Hello. We pick the language from, tell me please. From what we hear, from our society or from our surrounding. So if you are in an environment where language is not spoken or language is not practiced, are we able to learn the language? Hello?
No.
That is why we have to provide our children a rich environment to learn the language. Now suppose you want to teach your children English, what should you do? Right. If you can, please go and settle down in England, New Zealand, or Australia, where English is spoken, or else in a setting where English is spoken, or create such a setting at your home or in the school. Right. The easiest is creating such a setting at home or in school. How? How are you going to do it? Hello. How are you going to do it?
We should talk in English.
Yeah, if the parents are able to talk in English, they should use that language at home. In addition, what? If you are not that fluent, right, and make them watch or listen to radio, television in English, they will easily pick up the language even if you are not that good at English. So make them listen to songs, make them listen to English programs, make them watch English movies and make them watch cricket matches and all that. These things will improve their language ability. Right. And also there should be what? There should be good stimulation. You should stimulate your children to develop the language. Right. If there is no, if there isn't proper stimulation, what will happen? They will not want to learn it. Right. Right. Insecurity. If the children are not feel secured, they are not good at developing language or cognitive development. Right. And if the children have poor concentration, if they don't concentrate on things, then they won't develop their cognition. Right. If they have if they don't have confidence, also they won't develop their cognition. If the children do not have a opportunity to meet other people, then also they don't. It is a hindrance for their cognitive development. So you have to remember these things. Like if you want to develop the cognition and the language abilities of your children, you have to make sure that these things are avoided. So how does intellectual development occurs? It occurs through the acquisition of concepts. Right. It happens in this like this. Right. Intellectual development through acquisition of concepts. We develop our intellectual development through acquisition, through acquiring of concepts. We'll see what is concept and all that. Right. Intellectual stages are. This is all very well explained by Jean Piaget. Who is Jean Piaget? Jean Piaget is a Swiss psychologist who had done a lot of experiments on intellectual stages of development of children by doing some experiments on his own 3 children. This Jean Piaget, the Swiss psychologist, had he married one of his students and had 3 children. So what both of them did was they observed these children's intellectual development from age 0 to 20, and they recorded certain things, and these are considered as like Jean Piaget's findings. Right. Another person is who has given some idea about intellectual development is Jerome Bruner. He also has given some theories. Okay. Now I have finished the first slideshow regarding relevant to intellectual development. Did you understand it? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
I will immediately share this with Arshad sir, and he will share it with you, right? All these side shows, right? After this, within 10 minutes, I'll do it, okay? Right after the lesson is over, right? I'll jump to the next slide now. Right. Okay. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I was searching for a PowerPoint. It's not to be found. Right. Okay. So now we have discussed what is cognitive development and how it happens. Right. So next day we'll discuss Piaget's theories. Jean Piaget. He has divided intellectual development into some stages, and accordingly, right, certain developments occur, and how it occurs and all that we'll discuss next day. Right, we are having the lecture right, not tomorrow. Right, is tomorrow in the lecture for tomorrow in your schedule? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So I won't be able to do the lecture tomorrow, but I will do it on Wednesday, on the 14th and 15th, right? So I'll ask Arshad sir to arrange some other day, right? But I won't be able to do it tomorrow because I have informed him and he will do something about it. Arshad sir, are you there? Hello? It seems he's not there. Right. We'll do the rest of the lesson. We'll start it from next, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and the following day I will do it. So I'll share all these presentations with Arshad sir and he will send them to you. Okay? Okay? Hello?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay.